But I was thinking about how at no point in a functional society, not even a functional society, in a blooming society such as America, in a blooming, full strength growth society like America, one that is just thriving and powerful, at no point should a country like that ever have anybody working full time and not be able to afford their own apartment. No, at no point. So what kind of weak ass fucking country are we, where our businesses are so poor and measly and weak and pathetic that they can't afford to pay someone enough to rent their own apartment working full time? What kind of weak ass, pathetic, fucking bitch ass businesses do we got going on here? Huh? Look, insults aside, at no point should anybody working full time ever not be able to afford their own small apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment with nothing else, just the apartment and a bedroom. Anybody working full time should be able to afford that anywhere. Anybody working 40 plus hours a week should be able to afford that anywhere. But that's not how it is. People be working 2 jobs. Some people even be working 3 jobs and still can, having to live with other people, usually having to have a roommate. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't be like that. That's not okay. There's no excuse for that. It'd be one thing if you talked about like business being okay and how that's how business works and capitalism works and all that stuff. If somebody working 40 plus hours a week could afford their own small apartment, and I'm not talking about like the little like containers, those like 10-foot long, 15-foot long containers they have in like China, or those tiny apartments they have in Japan. Like, I'm 5'10". If I try to live in one of those apartments, it would be like trying to live in, I don't know, it probably wouldn't be that bad. I'm not that big, but I know people who, if they try to live in those apartments, it would not be fun. But I'm just talking about America specifically right now, because we're supposed to be such a flourishing, booming economy. We're supposed to be so powerful. We're supposed to be like the best everything, the best military, the best schools. That's what we're supposed to have, right? We can't even afford minimum wage. It doesn't matter if it's minimum wage. If somebody's working 40 hours, if somebody's putting 40 hours a week into somebody else's business, they should be able to afford their own place. And then like, they should be able to afford their own place, and they should be able to afford groceries. Maybe you could argue they shouldn't be able to afford anything else. Like, they shouldn't be able to afford like a huge TV and like all the video games they want and like the nicest computer and the nicest clothes. And if that's what people are spending their money on, that's on them, right? That is on them. But when people can't even afford to live on their own, that's not self-sufficiency. If you have a roommate, if you have 2 roommates living in the same room as you, if you share a bedroom with somebody and you're working full time, that is not self-sufficiency. That's not self-sufficiency. You have to rely on other people to help you pay your fucking rent. That's not self-sufficiency. So no, nobody, even people working full-time, they're still not self-sufficient. Even though they're giving pretty much, half their time away, maybe more. Maybe not exactly half their time, but they're giving a big, huge portion of their time away. Their time on this earth. We don't even know why the universe exists. We don't even know why the universe is. It's just fucking here for no reason. It's just whatever. We have like 400,000 different theories about why the fucking universe exists. But whatever, we don't really know that. And in this universe, people can't even afford their own apartment, working 40 plus hours a week. Their own little small 1-bedroom apartment with like shitty utilities. Maybe, they can't afford, and they should be able to afford an apartment, utilities, and groceries. They should be able to afford that. That's like a living wage. You should be able to take a shower. You should be able to cook. But what they shouldn't be able to afford on the barest minimums, the nicest clothes in the world. Like those, all that nice stuff, the best technology, the best, the best clothes, best shoes, best whatever. All that comes, that's not necessary, But like being able to take a shower every day, being able to eat and sustain yourself every day, which is something you do have to do every day. Having somewhere to sleep. You gotta have somewhere to sleep. You can't just not sleep. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you're not allowed to just lay down on the fucking sidewalk and sleep. I mean, you technically can, but you really shouldn't. Right? So, I don't understand. How's this okay? How is anybody okay with this? How is anybody who has to sleep in the same room as somebody else, anybody who's working full-time who has to sleep in the same bedroom as another person, should not be. They should all be quitting and boycotting, every single one of them. None of them should be doing it. Not unless they're choosing to, like if they're with like their spouse and they're choosing to live in that bedroom, sleep in the same bedroom as someone else. Unless they're choosing to do that, like with their significant other or something, their partner, unless they're choosing that, then they shouldn't have to do that. If they're working full time, if somebody's working full time, they should, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. It's weakness. It's complete weakness. What it shows to me are these businesses are too cowardly and scared and weak. They're scared of failing. They have no confidence in themselves as a business. So they can't even afford to pay someone enough to be able to rent a fucking apartment by themselves. A small one. That shows me weakness. These businesses are afraid. That means these businesses could go topside or under, whatever. They could go down at any time. Any of these businesses. That's what that tells me. Because if they can't spare a little cash so that the people who are making their company come to life can live at least the bare minimum of a nice lifestyle, then they must be doing so badly that they have to do that. Because there's no other excuse. It's weak. It's pathetic. So what kind of businesses is this America? Like, are these American businesses? Like, and then when they're offshoring and they're doing like, they're using like slave labor and shit, like, wow, your business is really doing that bad that you have to resort to slave labor in order to keep yourself alive, in order to make sure you put food on your table. That's how bad your business is doing. Maybe you should close up your business and move on to somebody else's and help somebody else out who knows what they're doing. Because apparently you don't. Because you can't even pay your workers enough to rent their own little apartment. One bedroom, one bathroom. You can't even give them that much. They're giving you full hours and you can't even give them that much. I mean, you must really be close to closing down, right? That sucks. It must be scary to have to live every day thinking like, man, if I paid each of these employees $2-3 more, we'd have to close everything. We'd be done. Be done for. I mean, yeah, that adds up, but I mean, not even being able to afford an apartment even adds up too. So